When you cross the age of 60, food is no longer just fuel. It becomes your body's most intimate language. Every bite you take speaks directly to your cells, your blood, and yes, even your desire. Nutrition isn't simply about preventing disease. It's about whether you wake up feeling like a man who is alive or a man who is slowly fading away. What you put on your plate decides if you have the energy to walk with confidence, if you can climb the stairs without feeling like you ran a marathon, and if you can keep the spark alive in the bedroom. Protein, vitamins, minerals, and essential fats don't just maintain your health. They keep your masculinity sharp, your passion strong, and your body ready to respond when intimacy calls. Protein is the foundation of vitality after 60 because it doesn't just repair muscles, it also repairs the confidence that comes with strength. A man who neglects protein begins to feel his body betray him. Muscles shrink, recovery slows, and weakness sets in. But when you eat lean chicken, fish, beans, or eggs, you're feeding more than muscle. You're feeding endurance and stamina. Protein ensures that your body responds when you need it most, whether it's lifting weights, carrying groceries, or performing with energy and control in the bedroom. Without enough protein, you rob your body of the power that makes you feel desirable and capable. Omega-3 fatty acids play another crucial role. Here's where the intimacy connection becomes even clearer. These healthy fats are like oil in an engine. They keep your blood flowing smoothly, your joints flexible, and your mind sharp. They're found in salmon walnuts, chia seeds, and flax seeds, and what they do inside your body is nothing short of magical. They keep the arteries open, ensuring blood flows freely to your heart and also to the areas of your body that define your manhood. Without omega-3s, you risk sluggish circulation, which doesn't just dull your health, dulls your passion and weakens your ability to perform when intimacy calls for your full presence. Then comes zinc, one of the most underestimated nutrients in a man's diet. Zinc is the mineral of desire because it is directly tied to testosterone production. Testosterone isn't just about sex drive, it is about confidence, assertiveness, and the energy that fuels every part of your life. Foods rich in zinc like pumpkin seeds, oysters, beef, and cashews can help keep testosterone levels alive even as you age. Without zinc, you begin to feel flat, less motivated, less excited, and less interested in intimacy. But with it, you feel that inner spark return, hunger for life and connection that makes you not just a man in years, but a man in presence. Magnesium partners with zinc to keep your nervous system calm and your energy stable. Think of it as the mineral that prevents burnout. Magnesium-rich foods like almonds, spinach, and dark chocolate help you sleep deeply, relax more fully, and recover faster. When you're deficient, stress takes over, and stress is the biggest killer of sexual energy. Magnesium restores balance, allowing you to approach intimacy not with exhaustion, but with enthusiasm. Imagine the difference between a man who is drained and one who is rested. Their presence in the bedroom is night and day. When you ignore nutrition at this age, it doesn't just affect your lab results, it affects how you feel as a man. Weakness, fatigue, and lack of desire are not simply signs of age, they are signs of nutritional neglect. The body is incredibly responsive to care even after 60. The right foods send signals to your hormones, your blood flow, and your energy levels that say, you are still alive, you are still strong, you are still capable. Eating the wrong foods or too few nutrients sends the opposite message. It convinces your body that it's time to shut down. So when we talk about nutrition after 60, we're not just talking about health. We're talking about your vitality, your sexuality, and your presence as a man. Every meal is an opportunity to choose strength or weakness, fire or fatigue, intimacy or indifference. This is why nutrition isn't just about living longer. It's about living stronger with your body, your mind, and your desire still burning brightly. When a man chooses to please his partner with his mouth, he is showing more than just a sexual act. He is revealing his mindset. It is an act that strips away ego and replaces it with presence, with generosity, with an unspoken confidence that says, I am not afraid to give. Many men avoid this kind of intimacy because they fear vulnerability or they believe it makes them weak. But the truth is, only a man who is secure in himself, in his masculinity, and in his connection with his partner can lean in and give this kind of pleasure. It's not about submission. It's about strength, the strength to know that real intimacy is about more than taking. It's about giving with intention. When you give a woman this type of attention, you're doing something that goes far beyond physical stimulation. You are telling her that her body matters, that her pleasure matters. You are tuned into her needs instead of only chasing your release. Women remember men who make them feel seen, touched, and valued in this way. This is because the act itself isn't mechanical, it's emotional. It builds trust, closeness, and a bond that lasts far beyond the bedroom. A man who avoids it misses the chance to connect deeply, while the one who embraces it unlocks levels of intimacy that transform the relationship. Psychologically, it speaks volumes about you as a lover. It says that you don't fear closeness, you are not afraid to explore, and that you carry an adventurous spirit. Women notice this difference. They know when a man is selfish, when he only comes to the bedroom to get, versus when he comes to give. Men who confidently use oral intimacy as part of their connection show they are comfortable in their skin, proud of their masculinity, and generous with their passion. This is not about technique alone, it is about energy, an energy of giving that women can feel instantly. There is also a biological power in this act that cannot be ignored. When a woman receives pleasure in this way, her body releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. She feels closer, safer, more connected to the man who gave her that experience. For the man, this act triggers a deeper emotional response as well. It quiets the ego and strengthens the connection. Instead of two bodies colliding, it becomes two souls touching. Is why men who embrace this form of intimacy often find that their relationships last longer and feel richer because they've learned the art of giving without condition. It also demonstrates patience, and patience is rare. Many men rush through intimacy, focused only on their own release, but the man who lingers, who listens to her breath, who pays attention to her movements, is the man she never forgets. It shows discipline, focus, and a true understanding that sex is not about rushing to the end, but about creating an experience that stays imprinted in her memory. The man who takes time to learn her body in this way becomes a lover who cannot be compared. For seniors, this act carries an even deeper layer of meaning. At an age where physical strength may shift, where endurance may look different than it did in youth, intimacy becomes more about connection, exploration, and emotional closeness. A man over 60 who chooses to give in this way is proving that passion has no age limit. He is saying with his actions, I am still here, I am still attentive, am still your lover. That confidence is magnetic, and it reignites the fire in relationships that may have gone quiet with time. And finally, this act is a mirror of your overall health. To perform it well, you need stamina, circulation, focus, and energy, all of which are tied to nutrition, exercise, and wellness. A man who invests in his health has the ability to invest in his partner's pleasure. It becomes a full circle truth. How you care for your body is reflected in how you care for hers. This is why men who live with vitality and generosity in their lifestyle carry those same qualities into the bedroom, making them irresistible and unforgettable in the eyes of the woman they love. Blood flow is the lifeline of vitality, and after 60, it becomes the single most important factor that separates men who thrive from men who fade. Every organ in your body, from your brain to your heart to your manhood, depends on circulation. When blood moves freely, energy feels alive, erection stays strong, memory stays sharp, and your overall stamina rises. When blood flow slows, so does life. You feel sluggish, your desire weakens, your focus fades, and even simple movements become a struggle. This is why circulation is not just a medical issue. It is the foundation of masculinity, intimacy, and wellness. Think about arousal itself. An erection is nothing more than blood filling the right chambers at the right time. If your arteries are clogged, if your veins are stiff, or if your circulation is weak, your performance pays the price. This is why men who ignore their diet, live on processed foods, and skip movement find themselves frustrated in the bedroom. It is not that desire is gone. It's that the body no longer responds with the same power. When blood cannot reach where it's needed most, intimacy becomes disappointment instead of pleasure. Blood flow is literally the difference between passion and frustration. Nutrition plays a direct role in how freely blood moves through your body. Leafy greens like spinach and kale release nitric oxide, a natural compound that relaxes blood vessels and allows circulation to improve. Beets, rich in nitrates, supercharge endurance and create a rush of oxygen through the muscles. Berries loaded with antioxidants protect your arteries from damage and keep them flexible. These are not just foods. They are natural performance enhancers that work from the inside out. When you eat them consistently, you feel the difference, not only in your health, but in the bedroom, where circulation determines how long and how powerfully you can sustain intimacy. Exercise is another key that no pill can replace. When you walk, lift, or train your body, you pump life into your circulation. Each heartbeat becomes stronger, pushing blood with more force, delivering oxygen to every cell, every nerve, every organ. Who stay active feel younger because they are literally pushing life through their veins daily. And when that blood flow stays strong, their intimacy doesn't just survive with age, it thrives. The stamina you build in the gym or on a walk shows up in the bedroom in ways that no supplement can fake. Stress, on the other hand, is one of the greatest killers of blood flow. Chronic tension tightens arteries, raises blood pressure, and restricts circulation. It's like clamping down on your body's lifeline. This is why learning to relax, to breathe deeply, to meditate, or simply to release stress is not a luxury. It's essential for intimacy. A man who carries stress into the bedroom finds himself distracted, soft, or unable to fully perform, because he doesn't want to, but because his blood flow is blocked by the tension his body is holding onto. Hydration also plays a role few men consider. Blood is primarily water. When you are dehydrated, circulation slows, energy drops, and endurance collapses. Something as simple as drinking enough water each day can be the difference between feeling sluggish or feeling sharp and ready. Water keeps blood volume high, allowing nutrients, oxygen, and hormones to move quickly where they are needed most. In the bedroom, hydration ensures your body responds with speed and intensity rather than fatigue and weakness. Age alone does not end passion. It is poor circulation that does. Men who eat right, move daily, manage stress, stay hydrated often shock themselves at how strong and capable they remain even into their 70s and beyond. Their secret isn't youth, it's circulation. Because when blood flow is alive, desire is alive, performance is alive, and intimacy feels powerful. A man's ability to maintain blood flow is the clearest sign of how well he will thrive in every area of his health and in every intimate connection he chooses to create. Testosterone is the heartbeat of masculinity. After 60, it becomes the silent factor that shapes how alive you feel, how strong you perform, and how much drive you carry into every part of your life. It's not just a hormone, it's your energy, your confidence, your ability to wake up in the morning ready to conquer the day. Too many men think testosterone is only about sex, but it runs deeper than that. It fuels your motivation, your assertiveness, and even the way you walk into a room. When levels fall, life starts to feel flat. You lose the spark, the hunger, the edge that once made you feel unstoppable. That's why protecting it naturally is not optional. It's essential. One of the biggest lies men have been sold is that testosterone can only be saved by pills or injections. While those options exist, the truth is your daily lifestyle holds more power over your testosterone than you realize. Lifting weights, especially heavy resistance training, sends a message to your body that strength is still required. Your muscles become a signal to your brain that testosterone is still needed, and your body responds. A man who neglects physical training is telling his hormones to shut down, but a man who challenges his muscles keeps the fire burning. Strength training is not about vanity at this age. It's about survival, vitality, and passion. Sleep is another critical pillar that most men ignore. It is during deep rest that your body produces the majority of its testosterone. Cutting corners on sleep robs you of your natural replenishment. After 60, sleep isn't a luxury. It is your pharmacy. When you give your body 7 to 8 hours of restorative rest, testosterone flows, your mood lifts, and your energy returns. Without it, fatigue sets in, your desire shrinks, and your performance falters. The man who guards his sleep is the man who guards his masculinity. Nutrition also makes or breaks your testosterone. Zinc-rich foods like oysters, pumpkin seeds, and lean red meats directly fuel testosterone production. Healthy fats from avocados, nuts, and olive oil provide the raw material your hormones need to thrive. When your diet is stripped of these essentials, your testosterone follows. Men who live on processed food and sugar don't just gain weight, they lose their drive. Men who nourish themselves with the right minerals and fats feel their masculinity rise back to the surface, proving that food is more than calories. It is hormonal power. Stress is a quiet assassin that men rarely address, yet it is one of the biggest killers of testosterone. The more stressed you are, the higher your cortisol climbs, and cortisol is testosterone's enemy. Chronic stress leaves you drained, uninterested, and weak. Learning to relax, to release, to control your breath is not soft, it's strong. The man who manages stress keeps his testosterone alive, and with it, his energy, his passion, and his sexual fire. Carrying excess belly fat is another warning sign. Fat tissue, especially around the stomach, converts testosterone into estrogen, leaving you feeling softer, weaker, and less like yourself. Every pound of fat you lose is a gift to your testosterone. The leaner you stay, the stronger your hormonal balance remains. This is why diet and exercise are non-negotiable, because every decision you make with your body either strengthens or sabotages your testosterone. Confidence itself is linked to testosterone. When your levels are healthy, you walk differently, you speak differently, and you connect with your partner differently. Intimacy feels alive because your hormones support the desire behind it. When your testosterone is low, you feel like a shell of yourself. There but not fully present, alive but not fully engaged. Protecting it is about reclaiming the man you know you still are, the man who thrives, who desires, who gives, and who commands his space with quiet strength. Intimacy is not just pleasure, it is medicine for the body and the mind, especially after 60. Every time you engage in deep, passionate connection, your body releases powerful chemicals that strengthen your immune system, balance your hormones, and sharpen your mood. The act of touch, of kissing, of full sexual expression floods the bloodstream with oxytocin and endorphins. These are not just feel-good hormones, they're your body's natural defense system, lowering stress, calming inflammation, and making you more resilient to illness. Men who stay sexually active in their senior years often notice they recover faster, sleep better, and carry a glow that no supplement alone can provide. Sexual energy itself is life energy, and when you release it with connection and passion, your body interprets it as a signal of vitality. Your circulation improves, your breathing deepens, Your heart rate climbs and your muscles engage, almost like a workout designed for pleasure. This isn't just theory, it's biology in action. Intimacy challenges the cardiovascular system in a healthy way, pumping fresh blood through your veins, sending oxygen to your brain, and strengthening your heart. Who avoid intimacy often notice their energy declining, while those who embrace it keep their vitality alive, not because they are chasing youth, but because they are honoring the natural rhythm of the body. The stress-reducing power of intimacy cannot be underestimated. Stress is one of the greatest killers of sexual health, immune strength, and overall wellness. Every moment of anxiety or tension spikes cortisol, which suppresses testosterone and weakens immunity. But when you are in the arms of your partner, when passion takes over, cortisol melts away. Instead, the body floods with oxytocin, a hormone that lowers blood pressure, boosts immunity, and even improves digestion. This is why men who nurture intimacy often appear calmer, more grounded, and less prone to the illnesses that come with chronic stress. Sleep is another gift of intimacy that most men overlook. After orgasm, the body releases prolactin, a hormone that brings a deep sense of relaxation and satisfaction. For seniors who struggle with insomnia, this can be one of the most natural sleep aids available. Deep, restorative sleep is essential for immune function, memory, and testosterone production. Without it, fatigue builds, desire weakens, and the body struggles to defend itself. Intimacy helps reset this cycle, allowing your body to recharge fully, so you wake not only rested but energized for the day ahead. There is also a profound psychological benefit to staying sexually active. Knowing that you can still connect with your partner on this level builds confidence and combats feelings of aging or decline. It tells your mind and your body that you are still alive, still desired, and still capable of giving and receiving pleasure. That sense of relevance and power doesn't just affect the bedroom. It spills into your daily life, into the way you carry yourself, the way you interact with others, the way you perceive your own value as a man. For many men, intimacy after 60 also creates a deeper bond with their partner than ever before. When youth is behind you, sex is no longer just about physical performance. It becomes about connection, exploration, and shared energy. Every act of touch becomes more meaningful, every embrace more powerful, because it carries not just desire but history, love, and trust. This emotional closeness is directly linked to wellness, as it reduces feelings of loneliness and strengthens the body's resilience. Who nurture intimacy often live longer, happier lives because they are emotionally fed as much as they are physically satisfied. Even the immune system responds to intimacy in ways science has proven. Men who have regular sex tend to have higher levels of immunoglobulin A, antibody that strengthens the first line of defense in the body against infections. This means that intimacy literally arms your body against disease. Add to that the improved circulation, the lowered stress, the better sleep, and the emotional stability, and intimacy becomes a powerful tool for health maintenance. It is not just about pleasure, it is about survival, about thriving, about living fully in the body you still own. True sexual power has never been about domination or conquest. It has always been about generosity. A man who enters intimacy with the mindset of giving instead of only taking reveals something rare and magnetic about himself. He shows that he is not driven purely by ego, but by connection, the ability to tune into his partner's body and respond to her needs. When you give selflessly, your partner feels safe, desired, and respected. Kind of energy creates an intimacy that lingers long after the act itself is over. Women do not forget the men who made them feel seen and satisfied. Memory becomes a bond that strengthens the relationship in ways that no words can fully express. The act of giving also reflects a deep confidence in your masculinity. Many men fear generosity in the bedroom because they mistake it for weakness, but in truth, it requires courage. It requires the willingness to focus on her, to be patient, to explore without rushing to your own end. A man who is willing to slow down, to pay attention to the way her breath changes, the way her body responds, is a man who knows his power does not come from speed or performance, but from presence. That patience becomes proof that you are in control of yourself, and that kind of control is deeply attractive. Generosity and intimacy also becomes a mirror of how you live in other areas of life. If you are the type of man who gives freely in the bedroom, chances are you carry that same energy into your relationships, your work, and your daily habits. You understand that true strength is not in hoarding, but in sharing, not in demanding, but in offering. This is why women who experience generous lovers often describe them as unforgettable, because that generosity is not just an act, it is a character trait, a truth that shines through every gesture. For seniors, this principle grows even more powerful. At an age when youth has faded and performance might look different than it did decades earlier, what matters most is the quality of intimacy, not just the mechanics. A man who chooses generosity ensures that his partner feels cherished, regardless of age or time. He proves that passion is timeless, that pleasure is not limited to youth, that intimacy is about exploration rather than perfection. This approach creates an intimacy that grows richer with age, not weaker, because it is built on depth, not surface. Psychologically, giving has a profound impact on a woman's emotional state. When she feels that her pleasure is prioritized, her body naturally responds with openness, relaxation, and deeper desire. She feels free to express herself, to let go, to trust. This creates a cycle. Her pleasure fuels yours, and your generosity fuels her willingness to open herself fully. Loop of giving and receiving builds passion that feels endless, making each encounter stronger than the last. The physical benefits of generosity are just as important. A man who spends time exploring his partner's body increases intimacy through extended arousal, which heightens the release of oxytocin and other bonding hormones. This not only brings physical satisfaction, but strengthens emotional connection, reducing stress, boosting immune health, and building a deeper sense of partnership. The more generous you are, the more both bodies benefit, turning intimacy into a healing act as well as a pleasurable one. Even the smallest gestures of generosity carry immense weight. The touch that lingers, the kiss that deepens, the willingness to use your mouth, your hands, your patience to discover her needs. These things speak louder than any words you could say. They communicate care, devotion, and a kind of masculine energy that is powerful because it is selfless. Women crave this not because it is rare, but because it makes them feel deeply valued. When a man gives in this way, he leaves an imprint that no other experience can erase, because generosity is the one quality that elevates intimacy into art.